And this episode of Penn Point starts right now. This episode of Penn Point is brought to you by Carbonite. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing on Miss USA. I've already done much too much, and maybe you're skipping these, and that's probably a good idea. But I gotta speak my piece. I'm not allowed. The rules that the judges were given are confidential, but the stuff that was said to us in front of other people that weren't judges is not confidential, and I can repeat that, and it made me laugh so much that you've got to know this, is they say over and over again, I mean, I believe this was said to me at least 5 times, and not just me. If it was just me, it'd be really funny. But it was said to all the judges, including Mariel Hemingway. They said, you judge the body on symmetry and not dimensions. Judge it on symmetry and not dimensions. And they kept saying that all over and over again, so that they were just saying, please don't vote for the one with the biggest breasts. Which would have made it so much easier for me, because I voted actually from what they said. I voted on the symmetry, and I voted on the question that they gave, and got a lot of shit for it, because essentially all the people who were supporting some of these people that I didn't think were very good at the questions, well, one person, Miss Tennessee, really would have been much happier, and they essentially just wrote to me, shouldn't you have just picked the one with the largest breasts? That having been said, one of the things that I never watched a Miss USA pageant or a Miss America pageant. Maybe I watched when I was a child with my parents, but never as an adult had watched any of these pageants. And maybe that's a reason to not have me judge. I mean, and that's a perfectly good reason. If you want to say, well, if you don't watch these pageants, don't judge them. But I was asked to. They were nice about it. I said yes. Their bodies are all the same. I mean, maybe I don't have a discerning enough eye, but when I go to when I look at human beings, it's the variation that I really like. And there's some like strip clubs where every single woman goes to the same surgeon and uses the same hair dye, and there's a homogeneity. That look is very attractive, you know, but the homogeneity drives me crazy. When I go to a place to look at human beings, you know, I want to see all different bodies. You know, I like to see big fat guys. I like women that have bodies more like women and less like, you know, little boys with Tupperware stuck on their chest. Although I like the look of a woman that looks like a little boy with Tupperware stuck on her chest. I also like regular looking women. And I thought, because I hadn't seen any of these, that the Miss USA thing, there were going to be some women that were, you know, a little curvier, a little thinner. And I guess there were slight differences. I remember one woman had, you know, a little more of an ass, and but most of the women, and it's also changed, you know, most of the women this year had the same kind of very skinny, you know, a little bit like done a lot of sit-ups, but kind of small arms, and then, you know, very normal, you know, symmetry and not dimensions. And maybe you're going to watch this and say, oh, Penn's just saying some of the Miss USA contestants should have had larger breasts. And I'm not. They should have had larger breasts and smaller breasts. But no, they shouldn't have. They should be exactly the way they are. But I was just surprised that's the way it was, and there wasn't more variation, because the variation for what's looks good in a swimsuit, looks good in an evening gown, and answers questions really well, seems like a much broader variation than what ends up here. But I guess it's kind of like if you know a lot about anything, like bebop or rock and roll, you start to hone in on really subtle differences. And these women didn't have bodies that looked to me that different in a swimsuit, but I'm not an expert, which is why maybe that, you know, Miss Tennessee's mom is going to say, well, if Penn can't tell my daughter from 3 other daughters the same age with the same coach in the same swimsuit, that he shouldn't be a Miss USA judge. And maybe that's the right point of view. But I think it's my last thing on Miss USA. I hope I explained it all clearly, but I followed every rule of my judging, and then afterwards I had personal opinions that some people disagreed with, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm sorry anyone has to lose. It's one of the reasons that I don't like competitions, but I was on Dancing with the Stars, and I do Penn and Teller Fool Us, and those are competitions. I did Identity, and I was part of them. So they're not my favorite thing, but I'm not morally opposed to them. So I was involved in another one, Miss USA. That's the way it goes. Don't pick the one with the biggest breasts. I didn't. Computer disasters eventually happen to everyone. Your computer crashes, gets infected with a virus, you drop it, theft, fire, etc. But if you get Carbonite online backup before your disaster, then no need to worry, because your files will be backed up automatically and safely off-site. And it's really easy to get them back. Plus, you get anytime, anywhere access to your backed up files from your computer or on your smartphone or iPad, see, with Carbonite app. With Carbonite, unlimited backup for your PC or Mac is just $59 a year. That's less than $5 a month. But when you use the offer code PENN, P-E-N-N, to start your free 15-day trial, you'll get 2 months free if you decide to buy. All details are carbonite.com, and remember to use the offer code PENN to get 2 months free with purchase.